what do you stand for? So for me, I, Shawn Dill, stand for a world where health and success are known as fundamental truths rather than fundamental pursuits. And so once you understand that, now I can build everything around that. So everything you see out of my personal brand has to be in alignment with the pursuit of health. I believe in humanity. I believe that we win.
Welcome to the show. I am so excited to share this episode with you. If you're new to this channel, this show exists to provide clarity for 1 million mission-driven entrepreneurs and brands so that together we can create an impact for eternity. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, which will continue to help us build this community. Now let's get into this video. So I'm here with Dr. Shawn Dill, and you have been on one of my shows, Entrepreneur Circle, episode 229 with your lovely wife, Lacey. And we got a little bit into personal branding then, and I hope to do a deeper dive with you today a bit. But let's go through the segments of the show, and the first one being clarity. And I think it's key for those who have a business to understand who they are, where they come from, what's their belief system. And you guys have built such an amazing community with Black Diamond Club. It's such a loving group of people that just want to give. And I always see that as like you, the parents, kind of shepherd and created that frequency within that community. So I just want to honor and appreciate you for that. But the clarity within you, your family, and your business, what are some of the core values that you hold dear?
Well, I love that. And I'm not saying you were doing this because you actually didn't use this word, but core values you used. But another one of the sort of super cliche words is why, right? And I'm not knocking it. I understand the concept, know your why, start with why. People don't buy what you're selling. They buy why, your why. And I think the intention was well placed with Simon Sinek. Who am I to knock him and his premise, right? Yeah. But I think that people don't really buy why you do what you do. We have this program. You have this pivot and new launch of this new program. And how many people right now are listening to this saying, I wonder why Erik's doing this? Like, is he trying to monetize? Is he looking for sponsorships? Does he want more friends? These all could be reasons why you might have this show. Yeah. But that's not important to the listeners. The listeners are in it for themselves, number one. But number two, in order, you talked about the energy and the frequency. They really want to know, and you brought this up, they want to know, what does Erik stand for? So I think that that's part and parcel to your why, but I think it makes it easier if we say, what do you stand for? So for me, I, Shawn Dill, stand for a world where health and success are known as fundamental truths rather than fundamental pursuits. And so once you understand that, now I can build everything around that. So everything you see out of my personal brand has to be in alignment with the pursuit of health. So we do a lot in the healthcare space, and it's we try to be all organic, natural. I'm not for another drug, potion, or lotion. I'm for us trying to get back to our default setting of being healthy. And then on the business side, I believe also as well that our default setting is success, that we were created to be successful. And there's all these things, these stories and things that we do to interfere with that. And so on the business side, everything you'll see out of me is trying to help people to clear that interference so they could be a natural expression of their true successful self. If that resonates with you, if you're like, I stand for that too, or I like that is in alignment, then we would be a good fit. You would necessarily like my content, like the things I talk about. And if not, then you'd be like, I hate that guy, right? But I know what I stand for. And I believe that that's why people choose to do business with me, is because they are in alignment with what I stand for. And people choose not to do business with me because they're not in alignment. And that's totally fine. There's a lot of people that are like, we need the next drug. We need the next thing. Health comes from the outside. Success comes from the outside. I need the next funnel. I need the next thing that I do to make me successful. And I'm like, those things are important, but you need to express your success and your health from the inside.
I love it. I know you mentioned, because I was trying to extract what the core values are in words that you said there, aside from health, right? Because that is your space, and you lead, you're one of the big thought leaders within the chiropractic, especially space. But I heard truth, and I heard success. Can you expand a little bit about the truth? Because like you said, there's a lot of people who think different things. How do you handle or navigate through people who just have powerful opposite beliefs? Do you try to convince, or do you try to lead by example? What's your normal cadence throughout?
I think that one of my mentors, who has since passed on, his name is Dr. Robert Brooks, made a very powerful statement. He said, "Listen, it's like God put truth in a box. So there's this little thing, truth, and it's in the middle, and then there's this box over it. And everyone in the world is looking at that through a different hole in the box. So as I'm observing it, I'm like, yeah, it's this gray thing with a little hole. That must be like a charging port. From your perspective, on your side, as you're looking at that, you can't not see that charging port. So you're like, you're crazy. It has no charging port. And I'm like, clearly, this is a charging port. We're looking at the exact same thing. You're looking at it from there. I'm looking at it from here. And listen, in the world, some people are looking at it from here. Some people are looking at the end of the day, I think that a lot of our disagreement of what is the truth really stems from the point of view. We always say that, well, that's your point of view. Well, I think if we really understood that, I would like, well, of course it is your point of view, and you're looking at it through the eyes of a Filipino family, an upbringing, living in a place that's different than where I live, having different friends. So your point of view. But that does not mean that we're looking at something completely different. We're just looking at it from different angles. So what I think the key in this is not really trying to convince you that it has a charging port or not. It might be as simple as just turning this and be like, now you can see it, but I might not be able to reach into the box of truth and do that. So the better option for me is to try to understand your point of view. Because I think what happens is we just think that everybody's looking at something different. And if I could realize we're looking at the same thing, maybe I should understand why you're viewing it that way. That sheds tremendous light on my own ability to grow.
So good. Man, why you have to nail that answer? So good. That was great, Shawn.
Not me. It was my mentor.
No, it was great. Because I love that vantage point. 100 different words in my mind, same exact answer. But I always try to have empathy and say, if I walked in their shoes and had their upbringing, like you said, I probably would think and feel the same way. I know we're kind of dancing around it, but especially during 2020, I had a very different vantage point than most of society and my friends. And I'm like, hey, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to get the jab. And a lot of people, lost a lot of friends, family we don't talk to as a result. But I always tried to understand, like, well, they grew up in a certain way. I have zero control over that. I just have to love and honor what they believe. So. Question as far as your promise to your audience, to your community. I know we spoke to Lacey about this as well. I don't know if your answer is a little different or the same, but what is the promise that you make to the Black Diamond community and all the people that follow you in the world?
I think it's going to be different, but my promise, I think, just to the entire world is that I'm not perfect. And I'm a reality show. I love reality TV. And everybody argues with me about this. They're like, no, you're just weird, or you just like it. But to me, and I literally say this to people, there's so many lessons in reality TV because you're watching somebody's life vicariously. And if you're smart, you can learn lessons through them. So my promise is that, I promise that I'll make mistakes. I promise that I will attempt to learn the lessons from those mistakes. And I promise that I will pass those lessons on to you, whoever it is. If you're watching, if you're listening, if I have an opportunity to share with your listeners, that I will pass on lessons so that you can learn vicariously. Now, everybody always says that too. Like, our good friend Dave says, pays the dummy tax. I think one of the hardest things, though, is to watch somebody make a misstep and learn vicariously. Because we always say that, like, oh, yeah, I paid the dummy tax. But how many people then hear from your parents, don't do that, and then you do it? and then you have to learn for yourself. But what I think is, so it's not necessarily I'm going to help you to not make the mistakes, but when you make the mistakes, I want you to be able to rebound, recover, and adapt faster because you already saw somebody do it. So I think it's imperative. I think one of the worst things that has happened in the social media age is the effort of people to hold themselves out as perfect, because then there's no learning. Like, you just have these like people that you look up to, your authority figures, your heroes, but I can't really learn from you if you're already perfect. You like, you have a Lamborghini and you keep showing it to me. I have no idea how you got there, but I wish I had one. Like, that's all I could really know about it, versus maybe you tell me about the time that you bought the Lamborghini and you were like, that was dumb, and then I couldn't pay for it, or what it can, and I learned those lessons because I might be like, wow, I want to buy a Lamborghini too, but then I do it. But then maybe I don't have to go all the way to bankruptcy or losing the car, or, some of the negative things when you don't recover quickly.
Yeah. That was unexpected, Shawn, to make a promise to your community, to your followers, that you'll strive to make mistakes and fail and learn from them so that they don't have to do it. I love that. I love that concept. You should think about coaching, mentoring people. Okay, so the promise. Quick question though, as you were my head goes to funny places as well. What's your favorite reality show? If that's
Real Housewives.
Real Housewives.
All of them.
What? Oh my goodness, that's another. You're full of unexpected answers. Have you heard of Jury Duty or seen Jury Duty?
Yes.
Truman Show in reality.
Yeah,
That's
awesome.
Yeah, highly recommend
Super
watching
awesome.
that.
Yes.
Was that considered a reality show? Kind of
Halfway, yeah. For one person. Yeah.
For one person.
Yeah, for him it was. Yeah.
The poor sap that's going to be the next guinea pig for that season 2 or whatever.
I was going to say I'm sure they'll continue to do that on so many levels. Like, even right now, maybe you're an actor.
Yeah. Do you ever feel in life that you're walking around and it's like, remember back in the day with Ashton Kutcher, it was like, am I being punked? And you look around for cameras.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what that guy, I think, at some point you saw on the show.
Well, these questions and these cameras, they're all in on it. They're all actors. I get it. I'm the one. Go ahead, admit it.
I love it. Yeah. We're all plugged in somewhere with goggles or our brains in a jar.
Podcast. That's what the new Netflix is called, huh? You just bring me on podcast.
I love it. All right, brother. Let's do the rapid fire here. Lacey had a lot of fun with this. I think you walked in on the tail end and heard some of it. But burn or bliss. So whether you're optimistic about something or a bit pessimistic on a certain topic, I'm going to drop the topic. You say burn. You don't think it's going to end well, or bliss. Yeah, we're going to thrive.
It's just one burn or bliss.
And then you have an opportunity at the end to say, hey, let me defend that one and why.
Okay.
So Lacey invented that, actually. So I'll always give her credit for that.
Okay.
She's like, hey, I need to defend why I said that. You can defend one. Okay, all right. So AI.
Bliss.
Disney.
Burn.
Electric vehicles.
Bliss.
Commercial real estate.
Ooh. Commercial real estate. Bliss.
Okay. I was going to switch this, but I'm going to keep it the same. Trump in 2024.
Bliss.
And last but not least, the U.S. education system.
Burn.
All right. Any of those you want to expand on?
I want to expand on them all.
Expand on what you need.
Gosh.
James will edit it.
Well, I mean, I don't know when this will drop. One of my core studies, 2024 is a big year for me. I love election years. I am actually apolitical. I'll take heat for this. I have never voted in I've never voted in an election in my life. I've never cast a vote in my life. People are like, well, you have a civic duty, civic responsibility, but I am very in tune. So I will study this. Here's though, I do not think that it's a Biden-Trump election. I also think this will be the single most contentious election campaign that we've ever witnessed. That ties into the reason why I believe so is because of AI. So I believe that this is a tipping point. Great book that I recommend everybody read is called The Pendulum. It's just called Pendulum. Take the out. Roy Williams, amazing book. We are at this tipping point. The pendulum talks about these 40-year swings. 2023 was the peak of the we society. We are now starting the pendular swing back towards the me society. There are certain things, signals that historically happen since the beginning of time that signal these switches. Usually it's signaled by changes in literary changes, books, music, certain artists that emerge, potentially Taylor Swift, and certain people come along and signal these changes. This is the first time in history that I believe that the change is being signaled by a machine, and that's AI.
Wow.
So AI is going to move us away from the we consciousness back towards the me, and the reason why is because we are going to go through a period of time where we don't know what to believe. So I'm going to see Erik Cabral on a podcast interviewing Taylor Swift, and they're going to be saying things that I'm like, I can't believe that they're saying this. And it will be your face and your voice, and she will be in this chair. And I'm going to say, like, I don't understand what is happening. And it wasn't necessarily even created by you. The election's going to be full of that. They're going to have, videos of both sides saying nonsensical stuff. And the general public's going to say, I just don't even know what to believe anymore. I do believe AI emerges because I don't think it goes away. But I think humans need to learn how to use AI. And I think we're going to have to create some responsibility, cultural responsibility around how we use it. So there's a couple of my burn and bliss packaged into one answer.
Yeah.
I mean, Disney's just Disney. They're just doing Disney. They got their future in their own hands. They don't seem to care.
Yeah. They don't seem to care about money because they're not making it right now. Right. But you did say bliss on AI.
Yeah, because I think we figured it out.
Okay,
I think that we're going to have to go through a little bit of a rough patch.
Yeah.
And then I think we figure out it's here. It's here to stay. And we're going to have to figure out how to use that to our advantage or be used by it. Mm-hmm. I believe in humanity. I believe that we win.
Do you think there's a version of us, though, that merges with the technology and we become sort of cybernetic? Like, what's your vision 200, 300, 400 years from now, with Neuralink and all of this happening?
I believe that we'll.
What do you think?
I believe that we'll try it, but things historically in the world are cyclical. And so, marketing, everything old is new again. You're seeing, direct mail. You're seeing these things come back. And so I think we'll try, and then I think we'll probably figure out that's not the greatest idea. I mean, listen, Apple's, one of the greatest tech companies in the world. We've got to see how far we can go with wearing these glasses and losing this human contact. And, are we going to be sitting at a bar one day and I'm not really going to talk to you? We all got the headsets on. Does this mean that I can watch the Super Bowl and you can be at home and I can be at home and we can literally watch it together? Absolutely. But now I'm not next to you. I've lost the ability to communicate. I'm not in close proximity. Are we going back to transcendental ages where thought leaders no longer communicated electronically and now you show up? I believe so. You were at a dinner last night, we gather people of like mind and we share information and we share camaraderie. I think that because of AI, that's going to be important because you are going to be able to say, I had an in-person experience with Shawn. I had an in-person experience with Dominique Wilkins, Meta World Peace, Dave Meltzer. I was there with them. Everybody else is going to say, but I see them on the screen, but I don't know if that's actually them. Mm-hmm. Is it AI? So I think there's going to be a huge premium on in-person. This is a great example.
Yeah.
We've moved our podcast, None of Your Business. We no longer do Zoom interviews. We are only doing live in-person interviews because the value is not the person on the screen. We already did that, and it was useful. During a period of time, but I think the human tendency, we're tending back towards real human connection.
Yeah, and that's what I appreciate what you've built, because your events are second to none. The community that you built, so loving, so grateful, so eager to learn and absorb knowledge. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for leading the charge on bringing live podcasting back. Thank you for this opportunity here at the NBA All-Star Game in Indiana. But like you mentioned, also the dinners, I think it's really key to get back to that. Like you said, I mean, if we go into sci-fi land, maybe we're already wearing headphones. Who knows? And where you and I are sitting in a matrix somewhere. But either way, I'm with you. We need to be together, to shake hands, to hug. That's the fastest way to build trust and relationships. I'm with you on that. What's the best way that people could reach you and connect and potentially partner?
I try to keep my social handles cleaned up at Dr. Shawn, Shawn, Dill, Dill. They could reach out to me online, blackdiamondclub.com, bookyourselfsolid.com, or just shoot me an email, Shawn@blackdiamondclub.com. Let me know what's on your mind. Let me know how I can help. Happy to support in any way I can.
Love it. Love it. And make sure you check out None of Your Business podcast with Dr. Shawn Dill and Lacey Book, as well Dr. Lacey Book. Great show. Wonderful to know you, brother. I appreciate the heck out of you, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. Best of luck on everything you do.
Thanks, man. If you were inspired or you learned something new today, please give us a like or a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. If you want to learn more about how to build your YouTube channel, your personal brand or podcast, hit us up at info@onairbrands.com. That's info@onairbrands.com so that we can find ways that we can help you. I'm Erik Cabral, and I hope that I added value in your life today.